In May last year, India struck 11 Pakistani air bases in a single night, not with fighter jets crossing the border, with missiles launched from Indian territory, travelling at 3 times the speed of sound, hitting targets near Islamabad before Pakistan had 30 seconds to figure out if the warheads were conventional or nuclear. That is not a display of firepower, that is a demonstration of doctrine. And it tells you everything about where India's missile program stands today. There was a time when India's missiles had one primary purpose, deterrence, built enough firepower so that no adversary dared to cross the line. That era is over. Today, India's missile arsenal does far more than threaten retaliation. It can strike, it can disrupt, it can deter. From the hypersonic speed of BrahMos to the battlefield precision of Pralay and the strategic reach of Agni, India has quietly built one of the world's most layered missile ecosystems. This is no longer just about possessing missiles, it is about possessing options. So what exactly can India's missile arsenal do? And why are Agni, Pralay and BrahMos becoming the 3 pillars of India's military strategy against both China and Pakistan? Let's start with BrahMos, India's most battle-tested weapon. On May 10, 2025, India used BrahMos missiles from Sukhoi Su-30 MKI fighters in precision strikes on 11 Pakistani air bases, including PAF base Noor Khan near Islamabad, Sargodha, Bholari and others. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif later admitted publicly that his military was planning a retaliatory strike for 4:30 in the morning, but India hit first. A Pakistani politician, Rana Sanaullah, admitted that Pakistan's military had only around 30 to 45 seconds to assess whether BrahMos missile carried a nuclear warhead. That is the window BrahMos leaves for a response. A US defense analyst said the BrahMos blew out Pakistan's Chinese-made HQ-9B air defense systems during the conflict. He noted that HQ-9B's semi-active radar made it easy for India to launch precision strikes, giving Indian forces a clear line of sight on the defensive formations around Lahore and Sialkot, ultimately leading to their destructions. A BrahMos missile travels at Mach 3 as of 2025. It arms 13 destroyers and 14 stealth frigates across the Indian Navy's fleet. India is also field testing an 800-kilometer range variant, which would put every major Pakistani city from Islamabad to Karachi within reach of jets flying entirely from Indian territory. And that is just the current version. BrahMos 2, under development, is projected to reach speeds between Mach 5 and Mach 7. Moving India into the hypersonic strike era. Below the strategic level, India has another weapon that is changing the battlefield calculus. It is called Pralay, Sanskrit for apocalypse. In December 2025, India conducted successful salvo trials of the Pralay Qazi ballistic missile, signaling that future retaliation would not require pilots, airspace penetration or prolonged engagement cycles. With a maximum range of 500 kilometers, Pralay is designed for high-precision conventional strikes. Once positioned along India's western frontier, it places critical Pakistani military installations within reach. Unlike Pakistan's nuclear-capable Nasir missile, which is designed to counter, Pralay carries only conventional warheads. That distinction matters enormously. It allows India to strike hard without crossing the nuclear threshold. Pakistan's old strategy was simple: shelter cross-border terrorism behind nuclear ambiguity. If India responds conventionally, it escalates. If it doesn't respond, the terror continues. Pralay breaks the equation. India approved the acquisition of around 120 Pralay missiles in 2023, with plans to induct 250 more. Now step up the escalation ladder. India's Agni series is the backbone of its nuclear deterrence. The newest entrant is Agni Prime. And what makes it different is not just its range, but where it launches from. In September last year, India launched an Agni Prime medium-range ballistic missile from a rail-based launcher at the Integrated Test Range on Abdul Kalam Island, Orissa. Agni Prime has a range of up to 2000 kilometers and is designed with advanced composite materials, better navigation systems and reduced weight compared to earlier Agni models. The test put India in the group of select nations having canisterized launch systems from N on the MOVE rail network. India's 2000 kilometers range missiles can now be moved anywhere across the country's 68,000 kilometer railway network, making it impossible for adversaries to know their exact location or launch path. Think about what that means. A nuclear-capable missile moving silently through Indian territory on civilian tracks, invisible to satellite surveillance until the moment it fires. That is second strike survivability. That is what no preemptive strike can eliminate. At the top of India's arsenal sits Agni V. This is not a missile aimed at Pakistan. This one is aimed at China. Agni V has a range of more than 5,500 kilometers. Though experts estimate the actual capability extends to 8,000 kilometers. Placing it in the intercontinental ballistic missile category, it can carry 1.5-ton nuclear warhead and has been tested with MIRV capability or the multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles. It means a single missile can deliver 3 to 4 nuclear warheads to different targets, each hundreds of kilometers apart. India's Strategic Forces Command launched an Agni V in August 2025 from Orissa, confirming the system's readiness for real-world scenarios. The test came just before Prime Minister Modi's trip to China for the SCO summit. The timing was deliberate. DRDO also started working in 2025 on 2 modified Agni V variants that could carry 7,500 to 8,000 kilogram conventional bunker buster or air burst warheads intended to destroy hardened facilities buried beneath reinforced concrete, specifically relevant to underground installations along the Chinese and Pakistani borders. India is not stopping here. DRDO successfully tested a missile called ET-LDHCM or the Extended Trajectory Long Duration Hypersonic Cruise Missile. It flies at Mach 8, roughly 9,800 kilometers per hour and has a range exceeding 1,500 kilometers. With that missile, a target in Karachi is 10 minutes away from Delhi. A target in Beijing, reachable. Unlike older ballistic missiles that follow a predictable arc, the ET-LDHCM stays low, hugs the terrain and can change direction mid-flight, making it nearly impossible for even advanced missile defense systems to intercept. With this test, India joined an elite club of 4 nations possessing working hypersonic weapons. The other 3 countries are the United States, Russia and China. The picture that emerges is deliberate and layered. BrahMos handles precision conventional strikes at supersonic speed. Pralay disrupts battlefield infrastructure without requiring a pilot. Agni Prime provides a mobile, survivable nuclear deterrent against Pakistan. Agni V holds China's cities at risk, and hypersonic missiles are the next layer already in testing. This is not an arsenal built for one conflict. It is built for a 2-front threat over 2 decades horizon. Modern warfare is changing. War in Ukraine, West Asia and South Asia have shown that missiles often shape battles long before tanks move or aircraft take off. India has clearly absorbed that lesson. Its missile doctrine is no longer built around a single weapon. It is built around a layered family of systems, each performing a specific role. Agni ensures deterrence. Pralay creates disruption. BrahMos delivers precision punishment. Together, they form a missile shield and a missile sword. For decades, India's military strength was measured by the number of fighter jets and tanks it possessed. Increasingly, the more important question is becoming this: how quickly, how precisely, how deeply can India's missiles strike when deterrence fails? That is the new face of India's military power.